Thank you very much. Can we all be seated? Yeah. Clear any form of doubt, this is section 5C that will run from 11 a.m. to 12:30, and the title is Rethinking Migration Identities Among Youth in Postcolonial Nigeria, part 1. I'd just like to confirm the availability of the panelists and the panel chair. The panel chair and organizer, the panel chair and organizer here. Please, can you identify panelists on your hand? Okay. Do we have the participants? Participants, yes. Your name, please. Okay. Do we have another person? Yes, Oluchi, yes. Okay. While we are waiting for Chris and Kazim Aziz, let's wait for everybody. Once it's time.
Where are you?
Oh. Yes, that's Matthias. Okay, Chukuba, Matthias. Okay, Isiani, welcome. Hello, Isiani.
Yes, Prof. Good morning.
You're welcome. So we're going to start at 7 o'clock. I mean, at 11 o'clock. I mean, 11:03. We're going to start at 11:03 on dot. So our anniversary on 7:03, please take one. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Over to you.
Please one house. We are about to start this panel on the Japa, rethinking migration and the changes in post-colonial Nigeria. So the panel on this we had a lot of people many people had interest on panel, so we had like 5 or more seconds. So I am inviting the Oguchi Abasumere, University of Nigeria, and Rebecca, the So our panel is on Japa. When you look at if you visit any of the embassies in Nigeria, you find out that there is this quest amongst the young generation. So the panel is about us trying to interrogate question why when our youth in any society, you know that you are aware that the youth are the folk, they are the we need them for the society, we need the generation. But in our own case, we found out that our youth are moving in growth. At the point we are thinking that initially the slave traders came, they enslaved our people forcefully and then sent them to Europe. But today, we are the ones actually going over to the witnesses surrounding ourselves today. So these are the things we need to look at this panel. We are trying to rethink migration. This is no longer forced migration, but willing migration. See that when you visit the embassy, anywhere now, you visit any of our immigration offices, people, the kind of people there, they are in. So these are the things we discuss to bring into this panel. And again, we are also thinking because of the number of articles we received, we are thinking that after this conference, we may approach our society and see if we can approach any journal to bring out a special issue on this journal, because this is the highest, it's the only proposal that received the highest number of papers. So we are approaching our society and see if we can get a special issue to any good in-depth journal on it to select papers that can feature in that particular journal. Then, so
Sorry, please, quickly, so how would you rules can we all please make sure our phones are on silent? Let's avoid any form of distraction that will affect the presenter and presenters, if you're with your slides, you can either put them on the flash or send them via email to Lagos Studies Association 3@gmail.com. I repeat, Lagos Studies Association 3@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Okay, for cash grab only to each. So at least another one has joined us, Chicken, where Chris accompanying from University of Nigeria is here. So in this panel we have presently representatives. Only to go back to you 12 minutes. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Nigeria, and I'm here to present the paper on Japa brain agent from social, economic, and politically barren Nigeria. Japa is a Yoruba word that means to want to live, to move. And it has turned out to be Nigerian slogan for mass exodus. And it has got to state that Nigerian police, they have got to the state when they don't know that they don't have to protect the pointed concessions and projected software of the citizens. So therefore, the citizens, most of them, they decide to pay Japa. After the line, we currently know that doctors, IT specialists, scholars, students, they make up of the highest level of skilled workers who have migrated to other parts of the country.
And it is against this background that I want to know that this paper examines social, economic, and political issues that has over the years enhanced Japa, and as well as kind of look into the reasons why Nigerians refuse to come back home, even when the home country still hostile to them, even when the host country still kind of harsh, yeah, or whenever they fight in that host country, that is really longer. What is actually the problem? How did they decide to go? In some cases, you find out that those in Sudan, those that come to Liberia, those that went to South Africa, which sponsors that the people that are Rethinking and all that. This Nigeria, they refuse to come back home. Coming home and being free here in quotes. So what is the problem? Why are these people running away from their own country? This article adopts the theory of Rethinking's push migration theory, which is put up in 1960s. In this theory, it stated that there are factors in the push and push theory that make Nigeria. What are these push theory? These push theory are those things that push Nigerians or people out of their own country to migrate to other countries. And what are these push theories? These are those theories that are tempting. Just like tempting that the own countries have that we don't have, that will pull you from your own country to their own country. And what are they? Like security, good working condition, employment, and all that. When we push people out of their country, there are no working condition, insecurity, poor infrastructure, and so on. Then, what are these social, economic, and political issues that over the years has enhanced or made Nigerians Japa is very clear. Look at our electoral system. Look at the economic system. Look at the infrastructure. Look at the educational sector. You find out that all these things are lacking. Should not be something that we celebrate. Most Nigerians have get a visa to travel. They celebrate. They give telephone in church because they want to travel. But it should not be something we celebrate. But in a situation whereby it should be a goal, and a situation whereby when you travel and it enhances your well-being, it's something that make you achieve your lifetime goals. It's something they like it becomes a celebration, something you need to celebrate. Because why? Because you need to when you know that you have potential, there are ambitions that need to be enhanced. In a situation whereby the only there have been giving room to offices, and you are just lying wasting. You have to live to where you will be, your potential to get like to where you will be neighbor before them. These are reasons why Nigerians are always living. Look at leadership style. In Nigeria, the previous and the incoming government, they have not actually kind of brought up a kind of economic and social, political kind of development that may have standard of living. So people have to migrate. Nigeria has a big population and has population, and this population in Nigeria is something that can be tied if the government were coming to it. The population of Nigeria can enhance the social and economic growth of Nigeria. But what is happening? People have to leave because what they have is just planning, just in the course of my setup of he stated that content for economic, content for strength, it's not only for economic and political, it's not only for economic and political strength. Rather, it is content for it's a kind of content for population. It's enhanced by population and moral. So in a situation with Nigeria have population and population, they can't enhance that population. There is no way or no kind of policies to actually absorb these people, this population. People have to leave. And a situation whereby people who have graduated and they are brilliant, and it's something by people who are working and they are seeking what of their living. They expect to live in mass. And also, look at also those people that make Nigerians to live. When you look at the leadership side, over the years, Nigerian leaders are so. Most leaders, they put up policies that will only benefit them. All they go is the occupy and use their power to accumulate wealth and make the state treasury their soup pockets. It's just like that. Nigerians have to migrate. They put up policies that don't even favor the people. They put up policies that doesn't even give people room to develop. So Nigeria has to kind of migrate to other nations because of this. And what are these? What can we do that should be the way forward for this? The way forward is for Nigeria, for the government to look into this area, this select. When we look at what's happening in Nigeria, we see lots of insecurity, lots of malpractices, mismanagement, corruption, and all that. So if Nigerian government can look into, I think, and for my opinion, I believe that the youth will not want to come back. But when things like this are happening for me, do you want to move? And you don't make anybody for Japa.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation. Also, if the government should put in place appropriate policies, infrastructural development, educational development, if they are not corrupt, the youth will not share by it. Thank you all for that presentation. So keep your questions, write them down while we call on Dr. Chris Chikelwe Akapike from University of Nigeria to present on food of course as a creative resource, a metaphorical reflection on Japa in the ruler and the ruled, a sculptural project. Dr. Akapike, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, the panelists. I'm glad to be here with you to present this paper titled Wood of Court as a Creative Resource. I'm sharing my screen. I hope you can see it.
Yes.
Are you seeing the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a metaphorical reflection on Japa, a trend on migration in the ruler and the ruled sculpture project. Actually, this work is a studio project from the Department of Fine and Applied Arts, University of Nigeria. It is meant to be a work that reflects on the. It's meant to be a work that reflects on the new trend that the youth have adopted these days. However, the ruler and the rule is an exploration sculpture project which uses wood of course as a joinery technique, like the joinery technique like a dovetail, flat lock, dado joint, and among other creative and imaginary creative joints. This works metaphorically speaks on the socio-political and economic situations of Nigerian citizens. The work that I have selected to present in this particular paper is titled She Is Gone. She Is Gone is a work that conceptually expresses the underlying problem of failed leadership and a crippled economy and insecurity in Nigerian system of government, which has led to a mass the migration of youth from Nigeria to other parts of the world in search of greener pastures. The ruler and this failed relationship is as a result of imposed bad leadership by the rulers on the road. So she is gone as a project exploration result aims to validate how would of God have contributed to the ongoing dialogue of mass migration of youth from Nigeria while focusing on genre and its aesthetic implications. I am using theories and models of visual social semiotics and drawing from the critical visual methodology and its formal features to conceptualize this paper. The findings of the paper shows that significant socio-political issues have been raised that addresses the implication of youth's quest to escape from Nigeria. The visual image is what you're seeing on the screen. This visual image is conceptualized, as I said before, using wood genre. If you're looking at it critically, you may not be able to see the genre because the mastery of the studio project have evolved in such a way that after the woods are joined, it is almost practically impossible to see how the woods were joined. But these woods are, this work is a pieces of off-cut wood from timber, but were assembled using joinery process. And when I applied the principle or the theory of visual methodology, one tries to analyze the image using the language that the image is trying to express. From the background, one can see that the image has symbols embedded on it. One could see love symbol, one could see the CBD symbol, one could see mirror symbol, one could see uli, lizards, and then the image proper is a lady. Normal circumstance, the lady would have been facing the audience, but in this situation, she is backing the audience. This image was originally conceptualized from Bob Marley's song, My Woman Is Gone. As a result of this, a relationship that got broken, probably a new relationship that got broken because the woman could no longer face the difficulties that surrounds her in a given situation. Usually marriage is supposed to be something that we should be able to enjoy. But in this situation, that belief or pleasure or enjoyment or relaxation that should have come from marriage is broken, and the woman could no longer take it, so she has to walk away from the relationship. I reflected this to what is happening in Nigeria with youth these days. The youths are supposed to enjoy their country. They are supposed to have a more relaxed atmosphere in their country. The marriage between the government and the youth is supposed to be such that the youth should be empowered so that they will maximize their potentials to make the country go forward. But because the marriage is broken and the government and the rulership has made it almost impossible for them to be comfortable in the society, they have turned back their attention to the country. They are now walking out of the country. So that term, Japa, is a kind of, when one gets frustrated as a result of situation, one walks out from that situation. So I try to use this work to buttress this point. Because of want of time, I may not take time to start analyzing the images and what each and every one of those images stands for. But the work is ongoing, and with time, I will eventually get to there. So in conclusion, the paper has described the concepts and metaphors implicated in the production of a wood work done in the Ruler and the Rose series. The study also utilized off-court timbers as the basic material, which metaphorically reflects the concept of the ruler and the role, the implication of what the ruler does with the role. It opens a channel for creative dialogue and possibilities over the effect of the ruling class on the downtrodden who are the ruled. The implications of wood off-court timbers as material for art has shown a strong functional significance in linking a physical quality to the effect of bad governance. This materiality of wood off-court allows for an oscillation between process and material, whereby manipulating artistic tools to form a metaphor of a new visual image that speaks to the plight of Nigerian citizens. While this study is ongoing, it may have generated some controversies, but then it is the will or the desire of every artist to create and stir up controversial issues that will surround a work. So this is what this work has tried to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chikelu, for that we'll still get back to the clarification services. Thank you. The last presenter is Rebecca, University of Lagos. Rebecca will present on hiding and traveling, Japa and the culture of secrecy and sudden abandonment.
All right.
Over to you, Rebecca. You have 12 minutes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Emeka Chuku from the University of Lagos. What inspired this study was a radio conversation on Nigerian Info when a caller called in and was complaining bitterly that the person that he slept with in the same house, that very time is in the same house, the next day, the person called him and told him that he's in Canada. And this phenomenon is not strange, although it's strange due to the recent wave in Japa. So I'm looking at hiding and traveling, Japa and the culture of secrecy and sudden abandonment in Nigeria. Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, the table of contents, we have the abstract, the introduction, the purpose of study, research question, research methodology, theoretical framework, basic assumptions of the theory, application, Japa with the factors influencing Japa, reasons, impact, and then the conclusion. Although I need to let us know that this study is a work in progress. So this introduction. So I began with a story I got talking about a man who a media professional in his mid-30s who woke up to a WhatsApp message that his friend was in Kenya and that she was leaving for London and was never coming back. As usual, Kelvin was shocked. And so Kelvin was dismayed because they had this conversation. She was his workmate, and they are always having conversations and talking, and she did not raise these issues up that she was leaving. So I said that Kelvin's case is not staged in today's Nigeria. Hardly any week passes by without one reading on social media or listening on the radio about similar stories. Keeping traveling plans a secret and sometimes abandoning family and colleagues overseas has become a normal but controversial phenomenon in Nigeria. This paper attempts an investigation into this phenomenon, the factors responsible, and its impact on individuals, family, and society. So this is a pictorial representation of Kelvin reading the WhatsApp chat of his friend who Japa without telling him. All right, the purpose of study: to investigate the secretive travel plans among Nigerians relocating abroad. Secondly, explore contributing factors to this phenomenon. The third, analyze effect on individuals, relationships, and society. Fourth, understand motivations behind this secret behavior. And lastly, uncover broader implication on life and social dynamics. So I employ the research methodology. I'm going to use a qualitative method in the course of preparing the paper proper. I'm going to look at focus groups, and then, of course, utilize primary, secondary sources of historical inquiries to be able to fashion out, to discuss the paper. So I also adopted a theoretical framework, and for the purpose of this paper, I chose planned behavior, which was propounded by Isaac Agen in various publications. And this planned behavior, according to Isaac Agen, is that he said that people often engage in this culture of secrets and abandonment as a planned behavior, and he distinguished this planned behavior into attitudes, personalities, and behavior. For the attitude,
I also have a conference I'm attending presently, so I'll just join you.
So I discussed the application of the theory of planned behavior to the study. So the attitudes, in the attitudes, I said that the secret surrounding traveling, the secrecy surrounding travel plans and sort of abandonment may be driven by individual attitude towards potential negative consequences if openly sharing their plans. So people have this attitude that if people have attitude already, that sharing traveling plans could pose a great threat in foiling their plans, or could pose physical or spiritual threats, or physical harm, or even sabotage. So they've already developed this attitude. This is what Isaac, Agen was developing in his theory of planned behavior. Then the second application, the second assumption is subjective norms. This thing has, because in the course of developing this attitude, people are subjected to this, belief. Because of this attitude is sponsored by prevailing beliefs. So people are subjected. For instance, now when there is this, just like what is going on in our society, that if you tell someone your traveling plans, it could spoil, it could do this, it could that. So this person, someone is brought into it, even though he doesn't want to, even though he feels that I need to let my friend know. But the existing, culture, the existing beliefs that he finds himself will make him not to, inform people concerning his plans. And then move to the third one, which is perceived behavioral control. Now, people often keep their plans, their traveling plans secret, and then subsequently abandon their friends, families, and colleagues because they have limited control over spiritual or physical consequences that may occur. So in a bit to play safe, let us keep it safe. Because I can't control what, I can't control the implications that may come out if I tell people about my traveling plan. So it's better for me to play safe. So this is what this theory is letting us to know. Then we move to the Japa wave in Nigeria. So the term Japa originated from the Yoruba word meaning to flee. So it has metamorphosed into a Nigerian slang and has come to represent the phenomenon of immigration. And also it has also become a syndrome. And people, in the course of my research, people are thinking that this Japa wave will not likely stop anytime soon. And so they say that it has already become a syndrome. So the need to find just like the Japa wave in Nigeria is purely economical and security-wise. People in search of economic opportunities, in search of better opportunities, tend to leave a place that is considered less favorable to a place that is considered more favorable. So scholars are saying that this trend, of course, people say that moving from one place to another is not new. But of course, we have seen that the Japa wave, has quadrupled the movement of people from Nigeria to, Europe and United States of America and Canada, as you may have them. So according to statistics, it said that 178,000 Nigerians were living in the United Kingdom in 2021, a huge jump from the 90,000 recorded in 2008 and highest number recorded so far. And people have traced this wave, this increase during the Buhari's era due to the economic hardship and failed economic policies. So that is one of the things I discovered in the course of my research. So these are the statistics from Nigeria Aviation Authority that reported that air passenger movement in Nigeria has moved to a staggering percentage of 91%. And then African Report also said stated the same thing, that this surge is attributed to a growing trend known as Japa, which involves mass migration of young professionals in search of better opportunities abroad, which I stated earlier. Because again, in the course of my study, I discovered that the trend is shaping, people that don't even know what they're going over there to do are also trying to move. You don't have plans, you don't know what they're going to do, but because of it's now the in thing, people are now developing reasons why they should move over there. Okay, let us look at factors influencing the recent rise of Japa. And one of the major factors, of course, as I said earlier, is better economic opportunities. And people have referred this to as economic migration. Also, we also have poor leadership and corruption as identified as another reasons why people have left. This is according to African Polling Institute and many other studies. Other causes include mass unemployment, poor salaries, poor working conditions, mass poverty, religious crisis, communal crisis, political crisis, lack of quality education, and so on. So reasons why people keep their travel plans secret. All right, according to Lane and Wagner, in the course of my study, they argued that individuals tend to keep their plans secret from others due to concern about potential negative outcome that may arise if their secrets were to be revealed. So in the course of our study, we have identified several factors that shed light on why Nigerians opt to keep their travel plans confidential and abruptly depart from friends, families, and police in pursuit of better opportunities abroad. Okay, now I look at cultural beliefs. Now in Nigeria, there exists, there's a rich cultural tapestry with deep-rooted beliefs in spirituality and traditional practices and superstitions. So all these issues have shaped why people keep their plans, their travel plans secret, because in Nigeria and Africa as a whole, when you are telling someone that you are moving abroad or you're locating abroad, is an achievement. And achievement often breeds envy. So people are always conscious of malevolent forces and tend to keep such things to themselves. I read a tweet where a girl said that if you tell someone your plans, that there's a possibility that you're not going to travel again. So so she kind of linked it with all these spiritual forces and so on. So then the last one, say fear of spiritual sabotage and forces jealous or envious individuals can influence decisions to keep travel plans secret. Okay, there's also social dynamics and envy. Nigerian society places importance on success, achievement, and wealth, which can lead to envy, jealousy among peers and acquaintances. This is from Ezekwesili, whom I had a conversations with. And then I went to Naira Land and got this information. So again, the fear of being targeted for theft, harm, or witchcraft due to perceived success opportunities gained through travel can drive the desire for secrecy. So this was a tweet that went viral sometime last year. So that this was from at Empress Aduisi. We said that her niece was poisoned by her friend because she got back to France. And so these are the issues that make people to keep their plans. These are what shapes people, So what shapes people to keep their travel plans secret and suddenly abandon friends and families and colleagues. So we also have trust and family dynamics. So there's also a problem of betrayal. I also saw a tweet which I failed to capture about a man who was about to travel to the US, and his cousin took his passport and hid it. And so this person came to confess 20 years later. Yeah, so he came to confess 20 years later that he was the one who kept that. Social security concerns. So I also read somewhere that a man who was coming back from I think from Dubai was killed by his friends. So all these issues, all these security problems are what shape people, towards this phenomenon of keeping their plans, secrets. So this is all right. So this is someone that is all right. Thank you. So look at it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca. So next time that time, please remember to thank you. Thank you, Rebecca, for that wonderful presentation. I want to call on my chair, Matthias. So Matthias, you can take over. Okay, Odnaka has joined us. Oh yeah, Matthias, you can take over from here.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Misobiani, for chairing the panel. I'm so happy. And the presenters, I'm so happy to hear from you guys on the issues on migration, Japa, hiding and seeking, Exodus brain, and woodcuts. That's wonderful presentations, and we are very glad to hear them. And just to say again what Dr. Misobiane initially said, we are working on this paper so that we can approach Professor Said to kind of suggest these papers to a particular journal per se. So we are taking note of all these things. So just on a quick note, an observation and also some questions to the presenters, and also for general this thing. The last speaker, Nnemeka, just a comment. I observed that your slide was too much, and you have to concise, in terms of presentation. It's just a 12 minutes presentation, so it should be a little bit concise, and so that the audience will flow with the slide presentations and all that. And you have to summarize some certain approaches you use so that we can get a clearer picture of where you are going, because at long presentations sometimes gets bored, if I can use that word, and something like that. Yeah. And that's my observation. Now let me just start from the first presenter, Oluchi. You presented on a topic, brain exodus, and something like that, but I just want to make some comments and also ask you some questions. One of my questions is, what method did you use to approach this brain exodus? Because on Twitter and other social media, people are saying that currently in Nigeria we have 1 doctor to 9,036 patients, which is what the Vanguard newspaper wrote yesterday, that we currently in Nigeria we have 1,000 to 9,036 patients in Nigeria. I just want to know what style you employed in this research you carried, and how how significant is it in these terms of migration? My comment is you made a comment when you said Japa is not something we should celebrate. Japa is something not to be celebrated in Nigeria. So I'm kind of curious. I'm curious to know why such statements, why you employed that we should not celebrate Japa in Nigeria and it's not something we should celebrate. And the last thing which I wanted for you to clear us very well, you said the youths will not have to Japa if the government encourage them. I want you to buttress more on that. Let's understand what you meant by the youth should not Japa if the government encourages them and all that. So, and the second presenter, Dr. Chike, I'm just rushing on so that we can have a broad discussion on all these things. I just want to tweak your title a little bit. I observed the title was kind of long, and I'm just making a suggestion. If the title can read in quotes, she is gone, because I understood from your presentation that you are making a reflection of this particular literature. She is gone. So if she is gone can be in quotes, then you put colon, Woodcock Courts, creative resource, and Japa, so that it will be descriptive in nature and also give a clearer presentation of your your paper. And also the same question goes to Chike also. I want to understand the strategies or the method you employed in this presentation, because I was curious to hear how these woodcuts, creative resource, how you were able to to gather these the method you used in presenting this wonderful presentation. And the last thing I observed, or the last comment I should also point out, is when you said the youth should be enjoying their country rather than traveling. So I'm also curious, just as I asked Oluchi, to know why that connection, or why do you think that you should be enjoying their country rather than where they are going? And the last presenter, Nnemeka, what statistics did you use to carry out this research? Did you rely on tweets or phone conversation or newspaper, as you pointed out? Let's get a statistics view of this hiding. Also, Nnemeka and Chukwu, I'm very curious to know where these pictorial presentations came from, whether it was at a cartoon, whether I saw the one you picked from tweets and from Facebook, but I'm curious to know also some of these pictures and all that you just showed the audience. I want to know where you got all of them from, and the title you gave the paper was so good. I'm interested to look forward to the corrections when needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matias, for that observations. I will now call another of my co-chair, Odinaka Kinsley, to make his own observations before we face the audience.
Thank you very much. My name is Odinaka Kingsley from the University of Mississippi. Please, I wasn't very present at the beginning because I also have another panel. So I just got into the into this panel right now. So you can proceed with the audience.
Okay, thank you. I just don't have any minutes. Okay, you can take numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Number 1.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Can you hear me? Those online, can you hear me?
No, we can't. I can't.
Yeah, so sorry. After all the questions, you just answer them at once. Please. Sorry. Yeah, after all the questions.
Dr. Kennedy Adekwegba. My first observation is that there should be a proper definition of Japa. I mean, there should be a root definition of the word Japa. And I think it's a combination of Ja and Pa. Ja is to flee, to bolt, and Pa is finally or ultimately. And so that we can understand what those who are doing that have in mind. That is, they want to flee and not come back. So that's the word Japa. So I think it should be reflected in some of this discussion. Then I also think that, like it was observed by the last speaker, there could be some advantages to this in the nearest future, where those who are exposed could actually come back against their will, not come back if things are in order here, and bring back some of the values that they have learned, or even investment, back to Nigeria. So I'm not thinking that it is, for now, it is negative, but it could be as well as positive in the future. Then I think this is not limited to the youth. There are those who are not youth, who are gainfully employed, who, some are working in banks, and they will leave their work, sell their properties, and go. So I think we should not be looking at it that it's only about youth who are now dissatisfied with the way things are run, and they want to go and have, and some of them at the end of the day get disappointed because what they have left behind is of more value than what they get where they are going. So we should also look at the direction of those who are not youth, who are actually okay, but who thought that going there will bring forth better things. And that leads me to the last issue of value. What do we want in life? What do we want in life? Is it about, though we can say that things are not the way they are supposed to be, what are we looking out for there? If you have to leave Nigeria, where the ecosystem, the atmosphere is made for you, and you have to live there to go and get to struggle with a harsh atmospheric weather condition, and even you are not getting the kind of job that you want to get. And if you get the kind of job you want to get and you make money, what do you want to use the money for? What is the value that you attach to what you are planning to get over there, compare with what you are likely to become or be in Nigeria? That's my observation.
Let's not take much time because if we
all right. My question is directed to the two presenters physically present here. The first one at Japa syndrome, brain exodus. Now, I just want to know that what are the recent policies the federal government has effected in recent times, and what are the socio-economic effects of these particular policies on Nigerian migration, most especially Nigerian youth migration. Why do we have to Japa based on government policies? That's my question directed at Oluchi. And then the second one, hiding and traveling. Now, I just want to know, like, what are the sampling techniques you deploy to select participants for your focus group discussion? Yeah.
Number 3.
Okay, thank you. So mine is really not a question. It would be like a contribution to what is said, to what has been said. Now, the first speaker, or let me start from the Japa syndrome, that it's like the grass is greener on the other side. That's what it looks like, but really it's not what it is. But in the case of Nigerian youth, you say the grass is greener when you water the ground, but is it true in Nigeria, in the Nigerian context? When you put in all the effort, you go to school, you make yourself better so that you have a better chance in the economic setting. But do we get value for whatever hard work we put in Nigeria? Is that not the reason why the youth decide to move to other places where if they put in the same level of hard work, or even not as much as they do here in Nigeria, they get a reward for their labor? Is that not a reason to want to migrate? So that's just, you know, a question for us to answer. Then the second speaker said something about superstition, that if they make known their plans to Japa to people, that it doesn't work eventually. Superstition, is it really a superstition? Sometimes science has failed to answer spiritual questions, because there are certain experiences we have that are termed spiritual but cannot be scientifically proven. So we cannot really call them a superstition. These things, they can be real based on the experiences we have. Mr. A may say, oh, I said this to so and so people, it did not work. But when I tried it some other time, I kept it to myself, it worked out. So is there a science? There may not be science to back up the fact that it is because it told 10 persons or not. But the spirituality sometimes answers this question that science cannot really answer. So we cannot call it a superstition. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth. I want to just make an observation, and it has to do with the passionate way Ms. Oluchi was speaking. You know, I think a lot of this got lost in her trying to express our research work, and I also believe that our government has failed. So whatever I want to say now is not justifying or making an excuse for our government. But I like to think that if someone gathers a huge sum of money to the tune of millions to Japa, why don't you use it and build yourself here? I say this because I've seen a man sell his business and go to America with 60 million naira. I mean, why do you go there to start from scratch? Why? So it then begs the question, the government, is it the only reason people decide to go? Some people just want to pepper them. Please, it's an observation I'm making. If you also look at the social media and see when someone takes someone's contribution for a whole year and then Japas and they say, I'm left to look at where the person is coming from. It's much better than where the person is going. So it's a mindset thing. I know we have failed as a government, but our people have different altruistic reasons for traveling. And then they now bring the government as a facade to just, oh, this is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. But if you look deeply, there's an inner reason, something selfish, something just you and you alone know why you're going, but it's not because it's not working. Because a lot of people have left working situations, positive situations, to go and suffer there without even knowing what they're doing.
I'm not okay. That's another opinion, because three of my cousins left this year with their family. I think in UK is the most beneficiary of where it's not only brain drain, but equally economic brain money is also going. You pay 70,000 and UK will offer you visa with your family. Number 5.
Yeah. Thank you, the presenters. I'm Henry Orikmeloye by name. The first presenter, sorry I wasn't here when you started, I came in towards the end of it, but looking at your topic here, I could see socioeconomic and politically barren Nigeria. That word barren is what is raising my anxiety. In what context has it been used? Both economic and political. Are we saying that we don't have anything that we can hold on to in this area, or are we developing anything in that area? We may not be what we have in other climes, but I don't believe in that kind of words usage for a place that we belong to. No matter the anxiety, no matter how we feel bad about it, I think we should look within. Like he said, that some people traveled and they got to worse conditions more than what we have in Nigeria. Is that place barren? That's a question. The next person, the last presenter, is just about maybe individual issues. Some people, when they are given a visa to travel, they celebrate it. They call parties, they drink. So those ones, they are not hiding anything. So, but maybe you are talking about individual, and this is where what we are as human beings will come in. We have families that people we think they don't discuss matters. So it's about individual. I don't think we are going to take it as a kind of general phenomenon, the way it's affecting everybody. So you have to have maybe demarcate. Maybe in terms of your, what do you call it, your data, you have to demarcate, just not applicable to everyone. Then there is a question raised by one of the organizers about why somebody is saying Japa should not be celebrated. And I think it's about the fact that it is something that is not giving us good image as a country, that the, what do you call it, the workforce, the major elements, the youth, they are moving away from the country. It will be giving the country a bad image. That is why we should not be able to celebrate such a thing. Thank you.
I'm Kikelomo Adeni from the Lagos State University of Education, Lagos. I want to appreciate the presenters for bringing the comic relief, because I've thoroughly enjoyed this aspect of the presentation. But I think there's a dimension we need to think about, the historical dimension to Japan. In the 60s, 50s, we've had people moving out, maybe for the result of scholarship, probably before the, before Nigeria became an independent nation. In the 1980s, during Buhari regime, that was when we had Operation Andrew, the man that said he wanted to check out that particular Nollywood actor of blessed memory. I can't really place his name now. That time was when people were moving out in droves as a result of Buhari, and they were being counseled not to check out. So we want to look at the historical background of Japan, and then talk about what is happening today. Now, some people are even saying that when Andrew was counseled not to Japa in 1980s, if he had done that, he would have become a grandfather now, and will definitely be in America enjoying his status. So let's look at the historical background of the word Japa. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Moses Ilo. Now, I want us the presenters, to look at two factors. There are two major factors according to Lee. We have push and pull. And it is on that basis the presenter can treat it generally, the push and pull. But if the presenter will now analyze his point on either of the two, that is my own contribution. Secondly, somebody has said that whether we should be celebrating it or not celebrating it. To me, whoever Japa will Japu. Now, whoever Japa will Japu. When we are talking about Japa, is to go and stay there permanently. Just as the last speaker has even said, when you go there, you come back. But some people, they are having the mindset of saying, I'm not coming back. Even my corpse should be deposited there. Now, the impact is this. Whoever Japa finally now, if the person will lose his identity, there will be a disconnection. Because we are even having it locally here. There are some people that they have put up to Lagos. They are village in whether in Ogun State here, they have not visited it. Let alone somebody in another continent entirely. So what am I saying is that there will be a disconnection and loss of cultural or family ties. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
It's about migration and identity. So it is misconnection. But that will happen because many people say they are not coming back. They don't have social identity. It is not
Okay. Thank you. My name is Ikechukwu Aseka Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University. I quickly want to suggest something. It's first to the first speaker. Is my thinking though? I feel that the paper tried to do a lot of things at once. Trying to look at the idea of Japa from social, economic, and political, and somehow it made her to be a little bit subjective in some of these issues she's raising. I'm wondering how the theoretical framework, how she generated the materials she's using to make her analysis. Supposing, just like she talked about approach, supposing is this sociological approach? Are you coming from point of view of sociological approach? Is it ethnographic approach? Is it probably maybe a lived experiences where you want to interview persons who have traveled? Could it be historical? There should be a kind of a focus, no matter how narrow, so that you don't try to do a lot of things and you don't end up doing that. So I feel she should narrow down her paper to a particular approach to help her save her from being so subjective and give a kind of an more academic touch to the entire exercise. Many things she said is out there in the public domain. And so what will give it an academic purpose like a research is a focus, historically, sociologically, ethnographically, or perhaps a lived experience, something like that, which will determine the methodology she may want to use. That's my suggestion. Second, quickly to the second presenter, I just want to, the methodology you use, and I wish, is it possible you go more? I think where I'm more interested in your paper is the idea of these things you raised, is it myth or reality? I like the tweet you showed. I like one or two things. Can you go, maybe a section of your paper, all these issues, can you try confirming them myth or reality? And so you could see other people's confessions about these things. It will go a long way to add credence to the idea of secrecy and all of that from lived and confirmed experiences. So maybe interviews and all of the other sources may come into, I think that's what I'm more interested in your paper. Thank you.
Yeah, please could you keep your question short, please, so they can have ample time to answer them.
Okay. Okay. I'm Obai Onyekachi from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. So mine is on the issue of identity, which you raised up. You're mentioning that Japan have a way of hindering your identity. So I think I'm faulting that opinion of Japan having a way of affecting your identity. Okay, I'm seeing it from this angle now, that Japan can be a means of consolidating identity rather than. I'm saying that Japan can be a means of consolidating your identity. Some people are not traveling to run away from their cultural roots or something like that. What they are trying to do is that because the Nigerian society is actually homophobic in context, is homophobic. So some people are living, not that the economy is not good on them, when they are living to go to a place where their identity is appreciated and celebrated. So this is the angle where I'm seeing it from. So I don't see it as, I don't see Japa or migration as some leadership position. So I don't see it as something that can hinder or destroy identity. I see it as something that can consolidate one's identity, because in this part of the world, homosexual identity is not celebrated, rather it is denigrated. So Japan is a means of consolidating it.
She has me.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Hairat Bukola Yusuf. I'm a researcher, and I was very, very interested in this particular panel because the Japa thing is a contemporary thing, is a contemporary issue, is a burning issue. The presenters, I thank you for enlightening us on the issue of Japa. The person that presented article on the person that used the idea of visual art, she is gone. She is gone. Yes, the person that used the case study, she is gone. Yes, I would like to know the motivation for using she is gone, because I'm sure that men are also fleeing the country. So it's on a lighter note. I would like to know the motivation for that. Thank you.
Excuse me, we have an order where we have Professor Moses Oshono. We want him to see if he will make one or two.
Well, I didn't raise my hand.
I know. So on this issue,
I wasn't going to, okay, if you insist.
say one or two things.
All right. So listen, my thoughts on this are that individual choices should be sacrosanct. You know, people migrate for different reasons, not only for socioeconomic reasons. Some people migrate not for themselves, but for their children or future prospects and so on and so forth. And I think there's a danger in putting ourselves in a position where we are sitting over judgment over people's choices, right? I think we should be respectful of the choices that people make. Those choices are never easy, whether someone has amassed some success at home or not. They are emotionally difficult choices when somebody decides to uproot themselves from their natal location to somewhere. So I think the least that we can do is to respectfully discuss those choices without sitting in judgment over those choices. And then the other proposal that I would like to make is that for those who are constantly saying that life in abroad is not easy, people do all kinds of odd jobs, they take a pay cut, they do jobs that are beneath them, and so on and so forth, and the weather is harsh, and all of this stuff. To use a local linguistic construct, why are you taking Panadol for another person's headache? Yeah? So let me make a proposal. Let me make a brief proposal. Those people who have Japa, right, who are abroad, the proposal is that they should stop taking Panadol for the headache of people who are at home, who choose to remain at home. And on the other side, those who choose to remain should stop taking Panadol for their headache. Okay? Let everybody face their own problem.
I said it. Thank you. I said it.
Hello. Thank you for the thank you for okay, thank you for the free papers. I wanted to make a suggestion for the third paper. There's an article which was published by The Economist, which is very long. Louder, please. Just louder. Okay. Thank you for the three papers. I wanted to make a suggestion for first and third papers. There's a large article which was published by The Economist explaining the phenomenon of Japa. And actually, there was something missing in both papers to explain what people are doing when they arrive in their country of destination as well. And also, I don't think it's about as well the political, the economic problem that bring people to live. And I would like to bounce back to the lady who said, actually, there's an history about living in Nigeria since the 1940s, actually, for education, etc. And I think also people leave because they feel that my family or friends or relatives are coming back with big gifts. So maybe I will even do better. Or they feel that some people abroad are doing a bad job, and maybe I can do better. I think there's something which could be digged as well around it. I'm just talking about personal experience. That's what I'm giving you more insights.
So I think
let's give the presenters opportunity to also respond to the barrage of questions.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So the first question, one of the chair asked about the method I used. So I'm making it clear is historical research method in the analysis of data. So that was what I used. And looking at it, we know that Japa is not only how will I put it? It's not only for like it's not only a Nigerian factor. The great Chinese of the 1980s and of the 80s and 90s experienced mass immigration of her citizens. But what did the government do? They put up strategic policies that will enhance the economic, social, and political opportunities in the country. So it's not only a Nigeria factor. And also looking at the oil boom, like someone rightly said over there, oil boom of the 1970s and 1980s, we discovered that in Nigeria, there was mass influx of people from other countries into Nigeria. But today, the reverse is the case. So, and also, when we I looked at the employment ranking in Nigeria. It stated that 2.4 million of Nigerian graduates, 120,000 masters, 18 PhD holders. That is 2020 unemployment rate. We're unemployed, making Nigeria third in global unemployment rate. So these are the facts that made me that I used for this article. And again, he said Japa is not. I said Japa is not something to celebrate. It's not something we celebrate. Why did I say so? Yes, I said leaving Nigeria should not be something we celebrate. Our best brains are going. People are leaving. If you go to the hospitals, you will see that doctors are living in mass. So it's not something we should celebrate. Living the country shouldn't be a goal. But when Japa offers greater opportunity, options, and convenience, it grows into a lifelong goal. So that was why I said it should not be something we celebrate. Because most people, they leave their own country to this place. Look, for instance, most times when people leave, at least my friends, when they leave, you see somebody, you know this king of boys, Shola Shobowale, raising glass like this. Welcome to a new dispensation. To tell you the truth, I have it in my phone. And when I Japa, I will do it. Do you understand? So it's yes, I have finished. I am a graduate, running my master's, no job. I know how I manage. I'm into business. I'm into this. I'm struggling. So when I have a better opportunity over there, I will Japa. So no, what I'm saying. That is what. But it's not something I should celebrate. If there are policies that were put in place in my own country, Nigeria, I should be able to stay and you know, do something for my country. But what can I say? So that's why I said it should not be something we celebrate, because other people from other countries migrate to this place and they don't. How many? Sorry, in quotes, white people will come to Africa or Nigeria and start raising glasses, you know, and they are kind of happy. They are migrating to, and they don't even come here to spend the whole of their life. At times, they also go back to their country. So that's why I made that statement. Okay, I said the youth should not Japa if the government encourages them. Yes, okay, look at the NSAS movement. The youth, they were tired of hostility, tired of lawlessness. They were tired of the rot and corruption, police brutality in the country. And they have to leave. If you have the opportunity, they leave. That's why I said, if government puts whatever we need in place, the youth will not Japa. Even not only the youth. There are so many people in different sectors that are not satisfied with what is actually happening there. But when they think better opportunity outside, they leave. So that was why I said the youth should not Japa if the government encourage them. Then someone was talking about the definition of Japa. It's not about the mass migration of Nigerians or people to other places with a conducive atmosphere or economic or socio-political opportunities. And someone also said, what are the policies put in place by government to put an end to Japa? Okay, like recently, looking at it, the government they try to stop doctors from migrating to other countries. Okay, what are the policies you put in place in order to make that those doctors feel safe, in order to make these doctors working conditions better? You don't put up any policies, but you're stopping them from living. It doesn't make sense to me. So, and again, they are also trying to limit the number of Nigerian students that are trying to go outside country to study. Okay, what policies, what strategies, what strategy did you put in place in order to enhance the educational sector or make those Nigerian students, feel safe studying in their own country? Okay, look at this program. Somebody was coming for this program and was kidnapped. This LSA, I was kidnapped. And tomorrow you expect the person, when the person see opportunity, the person will not japa. So these are
thank you. Thank you.
All right.
So after the very
keep it short.
our students are Japa.
Right.
So we should discourage them from
All right, I'll keep it very short. Thank you. Mr. Matthias asked that how did I arrive at my data? Okay, I said earlier that this research is a work in progress. And I got my information through various sources, including primary and secondary. The primary sources include tweets, daily conversations, radio conversations, and so on and so forth. And then you also get my pictures from. It was from a website. I got it from Unsplash. That's where I got it from. And someone was asking if superstitious belief is responsible. Yes, if you look at what I said, this hiding of something, people are not ignorant of it. All right, we're not ignorant of it. And one of the factors that have spoiled it, if you take other clients, especially in the Western world, I try to, in fact, through my research, in fact, there's only few information on this hiding and something. There's only a little website that I got information. Just to tell you that nobody has researched on it, nobody has come and say, oh, this thing is also happening in our place from the Western world or from what have you. But I was able to get my secondary sources to interpret the phenomenon, that is through books and journals. So that is okay. Sorry, I think I'm mixing up something. Okay, superstitious beliefs. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm asking the question of the lady that asked about if this is a superstitious belief. Yes, it's a superstitious belief because it's peculiar to Africa. Africans, and that question that are born out of the existing religious and cultural landscape. Because superstition is talking about religious, one of the branches of our religious understanding in Africa. So few often, superstition has influenced that. So someone was asking if this Japa thing is not personal. This thing, like I said earlier, was a trend. It was a trend for a period of time. This thing was going on. People were talking about. In fact, there's no day that no part that people will tell you that my friend left me. So we go to Nairaland. I saw conversations on Nairaland. I have to tell you that people are aware of this kind of thing. I don't only peculiar to Japa, but also peculiar to other issues too. So that is that. Thank you.
Thank you. We almost ending. Our time is almost up. I'm calling my Odinaka and Matthias. Please, if any of you have any contribution again, you can unmute yourself because we are running out of time.
Thank you, Dr. Mrs. Obiani. Thank you so much. My observation, I just want to comment a little bit, just a short one. Someone said people traveling abroad are disconnected from their ancestral home identity. And I'm very curious to understand the type of identity he or she meant that people abroad are cut off from. I'm not it doesn't really go down well, particularly with me, because if people abroad also identify with their ancestral, so they're not disconnected. That someone Japa out of Nigeria, for instance, or out of their country to the US or UK, does not really disconnect the person from his or her ancestral home, or his or her identity, because even here in the US or in Europe, these people from different diaspora or different African countries also have their communal arrangement. And the first thing when you meet any of them, where are you from? I'm from Nigeria. I'm from Ghana. No one tries to hide his or her identity. Even when you live for 40, 50 years in US or UK, that you did not return back to Nigeria does not mean you lost your identity. So I'm curious to understand the time mean, or to express such. And secondly, Dr. Misobian, we didn't give Dr. Chikelu a chance to respond to his question. People, some raised. So I'm just pleading we give Dr. Chike 5 minutes for him to respond. And also Stanley or Onyemechara wants to say something. Just these two, I'm just curious to hear them speak and respond to their questions. Thank you.
Okay. Chike, on mute.
Okay, thank you. Me, Dr. Misobian, I've already forgotten that I'm supposed to respond, but I understand she's running out of time. Oluchi has tried to buttress some questions that you asked that borders between my question and her own. The question I want to respond to specifically now is the one that was asked, that questioned why I choose "she is gone" instead of that men also live. I want to share a screen and bring her attention to where that inspiration actually came from. Maybe she wasn't here when I started. I said that this originally that "she is gone" came from Bob Marley's and the Wheelers production song they did in 1978. "My Woman Is Gone." And when you look at the lyrics of that song, it says, "She has left me a note hanging on my door. She says she couldn't take it. She couldn't take it anymore. The pressure around me just couldn't see. She felt like a prisoner who needs to be free. Fools have tried, yeah, wise men have failed. Oh, listen to me, honey. Life couldn't never be another jail. She will know now, she will never see smoke without fire." You see, when I draw on these relics, it brings something to my mind. There's an Igbo proverb that says, what it means is this: the toad doesn't run in the afternoon except if it is under pressure. If people are saying that leaving the country is normal, that it is people can leave their country when they want to because they want to just go and catch fun, I don't think it's right, because nobody, they say there is no place like home. There is no place like home. Nobody would like to migrate his whole family to a strange land if it's comfortable. So we only migrate because we are under pressure. Anybody that leaves a relationship leaves because he or she is no longer comfortable. And I'm seeing this youth relationship and government relationship to be something that is no longer comfortable. Thank you. Thank you. I know I've taken much of your time. Thank you.
Stanley, is Stanley still there? 4 minutes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Sorry. appearing as Matthias, but I hope you all can hear me.
Yes.
Just a quick reflection. Thank you. I've been following, a lot of the conversations and what everyone has said. I've been saying, and this is a very, 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 very important phenomenon in Nigeria. But I was wondering if we're mangling a lot of things up, and maybe hopefully in the subsequent sessions, other papers might reflect this. So migration is a broad spectrum of voluntary, reluctant, and involuntary movement. And I think the person who talked about the linguistic analysis, the Yoruba, Japa, that pa behind the ja sort of suggests some kind of involuntary or even reluctant movement. So people are going because of all kinds of issues that they are facing, from political to economic to, all the spectrums of involuntary or reluctant movement. So I think if we begin to reflect on which kinds of migration or Japa that people are talking about, then we can better contextualize, the reasons surrounding them and sort of the kinds of effects they might have on identity and other issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stanley. Thank you for that wonderful contribution. Stanley is a university. So, I think comments, intervention, final back.
I just want to do something about what Dr. Chike is saying. He said that no place like home. And then when he says there's no place like home, then you give us a definition of what a home is. Because the home is where your heart is. So if I just follow that makes me
I do not get on that side.
Thank you. Yes, I just want we can give more material with migration and see that's how I found. Well, there are lots of material that I can share it out. Yes, and you will see several celebrating how people are moving in and out of Nigeria, even in newspapers. So it's not a new thing. My conclusion is an individual thing. If you want to move, you can move, and if you want to stay, it's your choice. Thank you.
We are looking at Japa as being a new phenomenon in the area of a new slavery. I don't think we have not looked at it from that angle, that people are putting themselves willingly into a form of slavery. What we condemn in those days that it is good, it's bad. Is it not that we are working to it ourselves? Using our own freedom to certain indices that we cannot even measure. I think we should also look at it from that angle. Thank you.
One house, please. I'm suggesting that if you have to engage us further, we still have other panels on Japa. Check your program, and we are willing to entertain our further discussions on this. Thank you, everyone, for participating.
We meet at 3:45.
Huh?
We meet at 3:45 again. 3:45.